ladies and gentlemen, and all the core gamers out there. CAJ Man 777 here, blaming Logic Motion for beating me to another Ninjala Dev Diary review. No, I'm absolutely just kidding. Ninjala Dev Diary 17. Frankly, I don't think there's enough people talking about it right now because this Dev Diary was hype. And honestly, Logic and I think, are sharing the exact same feelings when it comes to how awesome this Dev Diary was. So if you guys want to hear what I thought of this Dev Diary, that's what this video is for. If you guys want to go hear what Logic said about the Dev Diary, go watch his video, which I will intentionally link in the description. And yeah, other than that, and if you guys are enjoying, of course, the content on the channel, do me a favor and hit the like button, as well as hitting the subscribe button, which you can find conveniently above my hand right now, to help this channel reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But without further ado, I have so much to say about Ninjala Dev Diary 17, so let's get right into it. Frankly, there was so much information packed in this Ninjala Dev Diary that I legitimately don't know where to start. I mean, yeah, I can start with some of the easier stuff, but honestly, there's so much information to cover in such a short time span. I hope I can get through it and kind of make my points across on all the things we have. So, just kind of starting off, during the Dev Diary, they introduced the new Season 7 theme, which of course is going to be horror. Now, obviously, I think a lot of people kind of saw this coming with the, October just being around the corner. And what's interesting about this season is this season, I believe, starts on 9/9, which is, of course, going to be September 9th. And it's actually running to December 1st, which means that we're probably going to be getting another holiday-like season in Ninjala. So we might see the Christmas tree stuff come back. You might see some of the other Halloween stuff from the prior season. I believe that was, well, God, what was it? Season 2? Season 3? That might come back as well with the prior Halloween stuff. So it's nice to see the horror theme kind of coming back, getting into the whole, like, we can get into the whole Oni thing, or you can get into the whole, oh, it's Halloween kind of thing. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy Season 7. So I'm pretty excited to see what Season 7 brings to the table. And speaking of something that Season 7 brings to the table, we gotta talk about the new gum weapons, the boxing gloves and the ogre gloves. They are punch-type weapons, aka the Gauntlet class weapons that I think a lot of people were waiting for. And before I even get to talking about these weapons in particular, there's one thing I need to say, and that is Burton-Alt! 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 I want it! I really like Burton's alternate costume there, and granted, they don't show the whole thing. Actually, the glasses are a different color, so I'm assuming they didn't show the Burton-Alt glasses, which I believe are yellow on that alternate kit. Again, he's actually on the SSR cards for Volume 2. That is the Burton-Alt they showed off in the video. So I'm pretty excited about that. But, back to the boxing gloves and the ogre gloves. Now, specifically, they showed off the boxing gloves first because the boxing gloves have the new Ninjutsu, and they also have the new gum shot. So obviously they always show off the new one first. But what's really cool about these gloves is that they specialize in close range combat, meaning you're gonna enjoy getting up close and personal with your opponents using these for some fast and furious strikes. Along with that, though, of course, they have a chargeable wide attack, which is a brand new feature that is not seen on any other weapon in the game right now, is the chargeable wide attack, meaning your wide attack can hit for so much damage. They do end up showing this off a little bit later down the line when they show off the gloves, but good God, the wide attack has some insane damage, and I can see a lot of people combining that hidden wide attack and how much damage it does with that new Master of Change mechanic buff to allow insta-binds, taking away half your opponent's health and then easily able to finish your opponent off. So that is something really cool, and I can't wait to see how the chargeable wide attack truly functions in battle. But what I find really interesting about this weapon is specifically the gauntlets. They have 3 separate break attacks. That is crazy. So not only can we break an opponent by just pressing the R button, back attack break by using left and right and the back attack button, and then you have a wide attack break. And the wide attack break actually has a very special feature. The wide attack break on a successful gum destruction or successful S-burst destruction ends up turning your break attack into a throw that instantly eppones your opponent. But the biggest thing it reminds me of is the Frankie suplex from One Piece, because I've caught up on One Piece and everything reminds me of One Piece now. I don't know why. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of insane, but it's nice to see that this weapon class specifically is really going into that full offensive option. So having multiple ways to not only instantly eep on your opponent with the break attack, people are going to have to be careful around these things. And obviously just being able to do crazy output of damage, I think it's going to be very, very insane. But they even go a step further when they talk about these weapons, and they go into the ability, the special, and the gum shot. For the ability, we have a brand new ability called Echo Energy, and Echo Energy actually reduces S energy consumption after using a gum boost when you have a big weapon. This is basically the big weapon exclusive ability of the new Gauntlet class, and I am very excited to be seeing how much S energy consumption is reduced after you use a gun boost or after you dash. Maybe it's like half a bar, maybe it's like 1.5 for a gun boost. But again, it's giving into that fully offensive feel of these gauntlets where you do have to be up close and personal, so you're going to want as much S energy as possible. I really, really like that. Of course, going further into that, they also showed off the new special on both the Gauntlet class weapons, because as you know, specials carry over from weapon class to weapon class. Doesn't matter if there is an alternate kit or not. But for the special, we have something known as Overflowing Power, which can be used in multiple ways according to the devs. Overflowing Power is essentially a massive buff to you. Not only do you get increased damage, but your health recovery speed is increased, and it gives you certain super armor when performing certain actions, probably during some moves of your combos as well. That is super scary, and again, really gets into the flow of I'm getting up close and personal in your face, and this whole kit really works around that. But what I find the most interesting, I think, about this kit in particular is the new gum shot, the gum boomerang. This is a straight flying gum shot that pierces players and drones. However, much like a boomerang, as long as the gum boomerang doesn't hit a wall, after a certain amount of time, the boomerang returns to the user for another full tick of gum damage. And with a big gum boomerang, that is easily able to gum bind your opponent. I'm interested to see if it can gum bind your opponent when it is a small weapon as well, but just thinking about the gum boomerang, initially using it to hit your opponent, getting into a combo, and then shortly after, the gum boomerang comes back into you, piercing through your opponent again as you're continuing the combo for a mid-combo bind without you even needing to jump cancel. That is a very scary thought. And that means this gum shot could be very, very powerful. And what I'm also interested in seeing is if specifically the gum boomerang returns directly to you, or if it returns to the spot it was shot from. Because if it returns directly to you, you can set up these very fast Ippon combo routes and not have to worry about using a jump cancel or anything in the middle of the combo. But if it returns to the spot it was, you have to position yourself properly to get the bind. My money, though, is on the fact that it will probably return to the user, making getting gum binds with this thing probably one of the easiest things to do mid-combo, and that is going to be absolutely terrifying. And of course, for the last thing, they also showed off the Gum Ninjutsu in terms of these weapons, and it is known as Blast Barrier. Now, the devs went on record and said specifically that this Blast Barrier is a defensive type ninjutsu. Now, we don't have too many defensive ninjutsus in the game, so this is a nice change of pace. What Blast Barrier does is give you and your team shields for short periods of time. The shield, while active around the player, gives you super armor, reduces your damage, and you become immune to gum shots. If these weapons weren't broken enough, I don't know what is. Gum shot immunity is going to be a huge thing, so you can't be bound out of the super armor, and that's going to be terrifying. You could go full monkey, pretty much. Return to monkey and just absolutely smack everybody around with these shields. However, you might think, okay, well, this ninjutsu doesn't do any damage directly, when that's actually incorrect. Because if you press the ninjutsu button again, you can actually cancel Blast Barrier and unleash a damaging shockwave that does around a standard set of ninjutsu damage that you're used to, being able to catch multiple people because it is a pretty big AoE explosion that comes right directly from the center of the player. So think Fujiyama Rocket, only on your location. That's pretty much how big it is, if not smaller. So I think that's going to be super fun to use, and I really can't wait to try out these weapons and make the weapon guide for these weapons, because these weapons are just going to be crazy. But the craziness doesn't stop there, because they showed off a new Oh, God. They showed off a new Shinobi card, and this thing's going to change the game. This Shinobi card is known as Ninjutsu stock, and to put it simply, you can have 2 ninjutsus at once, and this is going to be terrifying. And not only can you have 2 ninjutsus at once, but it has multiple good assist codes that they also showed on the screen. But let's talk about the ninjutsu stock card itself. Having double ninjutsus is going to be a game changer. That is going to be the ultimate comeback tool if you need those ninjutsus, or it's also going to provide a much needed utility if you're down in a team game. It, much like last spurt, I'm considering a new series of card known as the comeback mechanic cards, and honestly this one is no exception to that rule. However, what's interesting about this is, say you don't get an opportunity to use your first ninjutsu. What ninjutsu stock does is it builds up a second ninjutsu behind your first ninjutsu that you haven't used. So it's ultimately up to you if you want to use your first ninjutsu early and don't get the benefits of ninjutsu stock, or if you want to save both ninjutsus to use late game and get multiple Eppones and a lot of Eppones when everybody is probably fighting each other right at the end. I think this is going to be a very interesting card, and there's going to be a lot of strategy in play with this. In terms of the assist codes for this card, I think there's some pretty good ones. The first assist code is relatively simple. It restores your life when you defeat an opponent with your ninjutsu, with the ninjutsu stock. Very nice card, and looks like it only costs like 1 point right now. At least based on what I'm looking at. I might be wrong because I'm recording this audio and I'm not actually looking at a picture of it, so if it costs more than 1 point, that's why. For the next assist code, though, we have a gum damage reduction after activating a ninjutsu. Pretty standard, just reducing the amount of gum damage you take, making sure you can take advantage of all those ninjutsus. And of course, you have a new type of assist code, which is pretty much an over-the-limit assist code, which works specifically when you're building up a second ninjutsu in the background. For each ninjutsu point you are over the limit on that first ninjutsu, what this does is it will actually show your opponents beyond walls permanently from a certain distance. And that, I think, can be very scary, especially if you're building up that ninjutsu stocks and you're aiming to get lots of Eppones. That is going to be what you want to run for sure. You're going to want to see where all the fighting is. So that is definitely going to be a very nice assist code, I think, to run on ninjutsu stock. But that about covers it for all the weapon details they went over in this dev diary. And holy smokes, man. I mean, that I just covered a lot what they showed off in 3 minutes in like 12. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of information. Getting on to some other topics, I should say specifically. For the customization, we're getting a new thing of customization. Obviously, in Season 6, we got body paint. You want to make your character look like an alien? You can absolutely do that. Now you can make your character look even further like an alien, because now they're adding customizable lenses. Now, these lenses are specific changes to the eyes. If you want to have cat eyes, you can have cat eyes. If you want to have alien eyes and do like the gray skin tone to make yourself literally look like an alien from another planet, you can do that bar none now. And you could also, I believe they said, change the color of the eye lens itself. So that is pretty cool. I think there's a couple exceptions with that. And it's a nice change, and they're adding more customization. So that is super awesome. But now, I think that was pretty much it. That was pretty much all they had for customization. So, nothing too big, but a cute little feature, I think, that will work really well with the Season 7 theme of horror. But now we get into the new feature battle, which they have announced. They announced this feature battle a while ago, but in Season 7, it is finally coming. I am super excited for this, and it is Last Ninja Standing. It is an 8-player free-for-all, and once you are eliminated, you are out for the round. And much like a standard battle royale, the arena is going to shrink as you fight, making combat all the more frequent, making your skills needed all the more important. It's going to turn into some Ninjala 1v1 situations, and if you're not good at Ninjala 1v1s, God help you. It's going to be trouble for those of you who are not used to that mode, but it is going to be, I think, a very hectic and fun mode, and I cannot wait to try it out. In terms of other news, did they mention anything about the visual lobby? I know a lot of people were hyped up about this visual lobby, and unfortunately, no. Because remember, they said specifically the visual lobby in Season 7 is going to be a beta thing, which means it might only be accessible to a certain amount of players, or it only might be accessible to a select group of players, or something like that. We don't know yet, so there was no information on the visual lobby, but let me know your thoughts on if you think they should have talked about the visual lobby, of course, in the comment section down below. In terms of other things, as we kind of wrap up here with this kind of dev diary, it was a short dev diary, but man, there was a lot to talk about here. The one thing that I took away from this dev diary, and the biggest thing I took away, is the devs specifically said that they are going to be actively adjusting game balance. Now, does this mean mid-season patches? Potentially. And that, honestly, is something Ninjala has needed to do for a while now. Obviously, we got a little bit of a taste of that in Season 6, which was absolutely incredible. But if they continue to do active mid-season patches, Ninjala is going to explode. They are very happy already with Ninjala's first year, as many of you already know. So adding all of this stuff now, after Ninjala's been around for a year and they're used to how this game works, they're used to what they want now, that is going to be huge, and I am super excited to see active game balance changes. This has been something a lot of people have been waiting for a long time, and I'm super, super happy about that. But unfortunately, that is all the information I really have to cover in this dev diary, so let me know, of course, what you thought of this dev diary down below in the comment section, as well as, well, if you haven't already, liking the video and hitting that subscribe button to try and get this channel to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're about a sixth of the way there. If I count 250 subs added as a 12th of the way there, we're almost 2/12ths of the way there to 5,000 subs, almost at 2,500, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've been giving the channel over the last couple months. But, of course, I want to thank everybody for watching the video, and I hope you guys are excited for Ninjala Season 7, because I'll tell you what, I'm ready. But until then, I will see you guys soon. And this is CAJ Man 777 signing off. Stay safe, everybody.